Hey, how is it going everybody? My name is Stevie Wonder Kid and welcome back to another episode of the Rate My Ride video series, this time around for Rate My Ride number 6. It feels great to be getting back to normal with the Rate My Ride video series, and to revive it a little bit, I decided to allow the participants for this round to submit any car that they wanted. And all in all, we got 22 submissions that I'm really excited to show you guys in this video. Now, as always, you guys can take a look in the description down below, so that way you can find out more about how to participate in this series. And also in the description and in the pinned comment, there will be a link to a poll where you can vote for your favorite build from this video. So once you're done watching this video, definitely go and check that out. And with all that said, let's get started. Alright, so first off, we have Fast Forward 1965's Bravado Gauntlet Classic, and there's not a lot to say about this build other than it looks really simple and clean. I do like the orange paint and also the hood that he chose. It's definitely more of a realistic kind of OEM Plus style build. Would have liked to see more pictures, but I still overall like the build. Next up, we have Silence Albany Primo Custom, and this is a proper lowrider build. The modifications that he chose fit that lowrider style perfectly without looking way too crazy. I think the yellow paint really pops, and I think it contrasts nicely with that white interior. Gives it a very elegant look. Overall, this thing's super clean, and I absolutely love the style. And next up, we have juxzou's Declass Yosemite Rancher. Now, I'm not personally that much into off-road vehicles, but I still dig this Rancher build. It is super clean. I'm liking that discreet gray on black paint scheme, but I also like that it has some more aggressive off-road bits like the snorkel, the tow hook, and the light bar. Now, personally for me, the only thing that I might change is the wheels. I might go for more of a steely style wheel to fit that aggressive off-road look, but overall, still a very clean build. Alright boys, next up we have Cold Anemone 4's Fister Comet Retro Custom, and this is a very clean kind of street style build. I'm loving the metallic green color that he chose, and I actually used to have a Comet Retro myself that was painted in the exact same color. I'm also liking the deep dish street wheels with the tire letters. I think it fits that aggressive RWB styling perfectly. Nothing too crazy about this build. He kept it really simple and I love it. And next up we have Confusas' Karen Fudo. Sorry by the way if I botched the pronunciation, but anyways, he's got a drift style build here with a slew of exterior additions like the fender flares, the roof spoiler, and the ducktail. I'm liking that he still kept it pretty clean though with that deep metallic paint job. It looks like it was a metallic black base paint with some sort of orange or red pearlescent, which is really cool. Now the only things that I'd change are the wheels and the exhaust. In my opinion, the wheels are a little bit too big and flashy, and I also think the exhaust kind of takes away from that clean look, but other than that, this is still a pretty cool build. And next up we have Aztec Boy 006's Dinkablista Conjo, and this is actually a really unique take on a Conjo build because I haven't personally seen that many builds that have the roof box edition, so it's kind of nice to see, kind of nice change of pace. Now separate from this, it's a super clean build. I'm loving that dark paint scheme with the gray primary and the black wheels. Now to better keep it in that OEM style that he was going for, I might have just kept the stock spoiler rather than removing it, but other than that, this is a super clean and unique build. And next up we have Kaitozeki's Benefactor Feltzer, and this thing is a super clean but super simple stance build, but I still love to see cars like this, especially the Feltzer. It's so underrated, and I actually think it's the only one that we've seen in the Rate My Ride video series so far, which is awesome. About the build itself, there's not much really to say about it. I'm liking the simple white paint scheme with the chrome sports wheels. He didn't go nuts with the exterior additions, he kept it fairly stock, and it keeps that elegant look, which looks so good on a car like this. The pictures are beautiful too, so props to you, man. I love this build. And next up we have Kubbo's Volker Ingot, and this is another super underrated car, which is awesome to see. Now specific for this build, I'm liking that he did the two-tone paint scheme because the teal color on the primary contrasts really nicely with the other black accents of the car, like the black trim as well as the black wheels. And speaking of the wheels, the street wheels that he chose fit the car perfectly because they are like a fairly small size, and they also have that chrome deep dish, so it adds a little bit of extra color and diversity to the build while also keeping with that classic look. It's a simple but effective stance build, and it's a very unique car, so I love this build. And next up we have Venom's BF Club in kind of an OEM style, which I actually really like because there's nothing too crazy on the exterior, but the car overall still looks pretty modernized, which is nice. I'm liking the style of the chrome sports wheels that he chose as well. Now in my opinion, they are a little big for a car like this, but I still think they play into that modern look. I also love the deep metallic red color that he went for the paint. It's a simple but elegant color and it gets the job done, so overall, nice build. And next up we have Arka's Dinkablista Conjo, and this is another very clean stance build with some simple exterior additions like the windshield banner and the front bumper with the exposed intercooler. It's also got some smaller street wheels with the chrome dish, and I think that fits the classic 90s inspiration for this build. I'm also liking the green color scheme, but I wish the photos were just a little bit brighter so that way I could see things a bit better. Overall, still a nice build. And next up we have Smokey's Vapid Hustler with an absolutely beautiful and unique resto mod type build. It looks like a really authentic kind of hot rod style build with a really clean metallic red-orange paint scheme, along with the chrome Benny's wheels and the white wall tires, and I think all of those modifications match perfectly together for that hot rod type look. I'm also liking that he kept the chrome accents going all around the car. The exterior is pretty minimalistic, but I do like the look of the removed fenders and the bumpers. Overall, this is a super creative build and I'm a big fan of it. And also guys, Smokey made an amazing cinematic of his Hustler build, so I will have a link to that video as well as his channel in the description down below. I'd highly recommend that you guys go and check him out. And next up we have SGBLACKWOOD's De Clase Vamos with kind of a street or sleeper type build. It's got a very clean exterior overall, but there's still some little hints to show that it is really fast, like the exposed turbos and the side exit exhaust. I'm also liking the color choice as well because this primary diamond blue contrasts nicely with the rest of the black accents on the car. It's a pretty low-key build, but I still like it. Just for next time, try to get some higher quality pictures because these are pretty pixelated. Alright guys, next up we have Glowing Nuggets Lampadati Tropos Rally, and this is a pretty unique take on a Tropos Rally build. Obviously you guys probably know this already, that this car is inspired by the Lancia Stratos, so with that said, most people would go for like a rally style build with this car, but Glowing Nugget went down a slightly different path and kept it pretty low key on the exterior, but I still do like that deep metallic blue color. I also think the classic street style wheels are also a nice touch because they fit the era of this car pretty well. They're fairly small and stealthy and they're not super flashy, which is nice. Overall, this is a super cool build. And next up we have BigAlTheUnit's De Clase Tampa, and this is actually a bullet inspired Tampa build, believe it or not. It's got a really clean exterior, obviously like the car from the movie with that iconic dark green paint job. Now personally for me, if I were gonna make a bullet replica, I might have just used the Vapid Ellie, but the Tampa still looks great as it is another super underrated and aggressive looking car. It is a little bit hard to see some of the finer details of this build in the pictures though, because you can really only see half the car. Now pictures of the full car still would have been nice, but overall this is still a cool and unique build. And next up we have Darkvoid's Anna Silvestra, and this is one of the coolest Silvestra builds that I think I've ever seen. It's got that super authentic Bososoku style with the massive fender flares, the louvers in the rear, and the Takayari exhaust. I'm loving that two-tone paint as well, and it looks like the primary color has some pearlescent in it, which is a really cool touch. Also, the deep dish steel wheels fit that Bososoku theme perfectly, and the pictures are beautiful too, so overall, huge fan of this build. And next up we have Hydroskunk's Karen Sultan Classic with kind of an aggressive street racer type build. There's quite a lot done to the exterior, but it still looks super discreet and stealthy. I'm also liking the wheel choice too, and it looks like he painted them a shade of purple, which is really cool because it's not a super loud purple. It kind of blends in with the black primary color. Now to better fit in with that stealthy look, I might have just gotten rid of the livery altogether, but other than that, I still really like this build. And next up we have BeefnCheeseTheFourth's Ubermax Sentinel Classic with an aggressive street and track type build. He's got all of the race inspired modifications like the roll cage, the hood vents, the front bumper, and the spoiler. And I'm also really liking these smaller white wheels with the deep dish because I think they fit that aggressive look well. However, the only thing I'm not a fan of is the white pearlescent. It looks like he used a metallic black primary and then added a white pearlescent to it. Not a super huge fan of that. I don't think it really blends well with the rest of the car. For me personally, I might have just left the default pearlescent on there so that way it contrasts a bit better with the rest of the car, but overall still a really nice build. And next up we have Nick's Overflowed Entity XXR with a very simple but aggressive track car type build. The front bumper with the canards fit that aggressive look perfectly, but it still is fairly stealthy with the metallic black paint scheme. I'm also liking that he went for the OEM style wheels but in carbon, and I think the red accents around the outside of the rims match up nicely with the brake calipers. It's nice that he had that kind of attention to detail with this build. Other than that, there's really not much to say about this car. It's very well executed overall, and the photos are absolutely beautiful. And next up we have the Curse's Dinkablista Conjo with a kind of ricey, stancy Civic build. It's fairly clean. I'm liking the white on the black color scheme that you can see all around the car, along with the aggressive bits that he chose on the exterior like the raised hood, the drilled bumper, and the yellow headlight covers. It adds a little bit extra, but it isn't anything too crazy. However, the only things that I'm personally not a fan of are the sticker bomb rear hatch and the exhaust choice that he went for. I don't think it really fits well with the aggressive vibe of the rest of the car. I think it kind of takes away from that. Other than that, still a pretty cool build. Next up, we have Kaitozeki Vapid Retinue with a really cool take on a retinue build. Now, like we saw earlier with the Tropos Rally build, normally you see a lot of retinues that are also kitted out in that kind of rally style. So to see a build like this is a nice change. He's got this very clean exterior with the metallic blue along with the chrome accents, which match up nicely with the classic chrome wheels. Now, personally for this build, the only thing that I'd change is the exhaust. Because it's got these burnt tips, I don't really think it matches up well with the elegant and clean look on the rest of the car. I might have just kept the exhaust stock, but other than that, a very clean and unique build. And next up, we have some Satyrs Pegassi Tempesta, which is another car I haven't seen submitted for an episode of Rate My Ride before, so it was really nice to see. And I don't know much about the Tempesta, but I still do like this build, and it looks like he painted it in this bright greenish yellow color. It almost looks like a tennis ball or something, but it still kind of grabs your attention, plays into that flashy look along with the bumper and the skirt additions that he chose. It isn't too flashy, but it's just enough to kind of set it apart from the rest. I would have liked to see some more pictures and maybe some brighter pictures too, so that way I could see the finer details, but overall I still like this build. And last but not least, we have Daniel's Karen Fudo, and this is a super nice Fudo build and a really unique take on one as well. I'm liking that he went for that Nissan Skyline R31 inspiration with the two-tone paint as well as the letters on the bottom of the doors. I'm also liking the front and rear bumpers as well as the skirts that he chose. He kept it clean and simple but still added a little bit more to the exterior, which is nice to see. Now personally for me, the only thing that I change is the tire letters. I might have just removed them, or I might have tried the yellow tire letters to match the livery, but still overall a very cool build. And that will conclude all of the submissions that we got for this round of Rate My Ride. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, definitely go and check out the poll that's going to be linked in the description and in the pinned comment so that way you guys can vote for your favorite build. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any feedback on what you'd like to see for future Rate My Ride episodes, then leave it down in the comments, and also feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you want. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.